The Rams have gone out and gotten Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters. Is it Sam Shield, who was a corner a couple years ago for Green Bay? Yeah, good player, Sam Shields. They have massively upgraded their secondary, the weakness of their team. San Francisco brings in Garoppolo late last year. Philadelphia adds Michael Bennett. Washington upgrades at quarterback. The Giants add Alec Ogletree and have the number 2 pick. Green Bay got 12 draft picks. Crickets. And they may lose Clay Matthews and Brian Bulaga to, cap casualties. They really, or Jordy Nelson, who's been injured a couple times. Wouldn't you give a pick if you were Green Bay up for Aqib Talib or Marcus Peters? I mean, Green Bay has got 12 draft picks. Great. So Aaron Rodgers is going to have to babysit 12 newbies, 12 interns, 12 kids brand new into the league. I mean, congrats to the Packers for owning day 3 of the draft, 9 picks in the final 4 rounds. Yippee. But, I mean, you look at the Rams, already good. Philadelphia, already good. Washington, Giants, San Francisco, all veteran upgrades. Green Bay, 12 draft picks, lots of currency, didn't add any veteran help. Brady keeps getting veteran help. Goff got veteran help. Wentz got veteran help. I mean, it's amazing. I keep saying this with Green Bay. They interviewed, was it Muhammad Wilkerson for the Jets? I think they interviewed him, but he's out of town, which is generally a bad. Yeah, he left town. So generally, you don't want the free agent to leave without a contract. That's kind of the rule of it. You want to bring him in, take him out, have a great day, sign him, and when they leave and go to visit other places, it reduces your chances dramatically. But it's funny about Green Bay. We've always sort of, not I haven't, but a lot of people have celebrated the fact the Packers have no owner. They're owned by the community. But the downside is no owner. Owners demand urgency. Owners get impatient. Owners are human. Owners get mad. Owners get worked up. Owners want a new corner, a new quarterback, a new coach. The downside to being owned by the community is no owner is no urgency. And the other thing, it's a small media market. So in Green Bay, the sports talk radio is overwhelmingly supportive of the Packers. One of the first things when I moved out east, it was remarkable how much power sports radio had in New York. It was in Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. Sports radio was getting managers fired. Sports radio was creating these firestorms, these firework shows, and getting people run out of town. And sometimes you could see them, like the New York Mets when I was out east, went and acquired Jason Bay, the outfielder. And I'll never forget this. So the Yankees had gone out and spent money, and the Mets had this new Stadium City field. It's a very spacious outfield. Jason Bay's this kind of slow outfielder, and the Mets did not make a move in free agency, and they were just getting crushed in the media. And the Mets owners panicked, and the GM panicked, and they signed Jason Bay in the outfield. And it was one of those baseball moves that, I mean, I'm not a diehard baseball guy. Everybody knew this is not going to work. It's a wildly spacious outfield. It's like the Sahara Desert out there, and you had this slow, lumbering corner outfielder. It's like Jason Bay's not going to work in New York with the Mets. But in the downside to being a Charlotte and a Buffalo and a Green Bay is that the media is very supportive. It's a small market media. Everybody's controlled by the car dealer, and everybody loves the local player. When you get into these Philadelphias and New Yorks and Bostons and Dallas and Chicago, and the media's got power, they put pressure on teams. They put pressure on coaches. Sports radio in the South, it is vitriolic regarding SEC football. Well, that's why SEC football is so good. Like, if you don't win in 2 years, they are on you. And I think there's real value to it. So I look at Green Bay, 12 draft picks. Everybody in the NFC that was better than the Green Bay last year is adding veteran pieces. And Green Bay's just sitting there with 12 draft picks. Well, Aaron Rodgers is now in his 13th year in this league, 10 as a player, 3 as a sitter. And he doesn't have 7 years left here. He may not have 6 years left. Go get him smart veteran players. Get him a smart veteran wide receiver. Get him a really, really decent pass rusher in a corner. Keep the points off the board. You're not going to get another Aaron Rodgers. You are not going to get another Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, and I think he's right. Love Bobby Wagner. Love Doug Baldwin. like Doug Baldwin as a player, love Bobby Wagner, love Russell Wilson. I think he's a Hall of Famer. So Richard Sherman, who's come off a couple of ACLs. We'll see what happens with him. Nobody's going to spend a fortune on him. I wouldn't, although I think he was a great player and a borderline Hall of Famer. You know, it also shows these windows in sports just don't last very long. NFL, NBA, the big three in Boston, we thought was going to last forever, one title. Green Bay, 7 years with Aaron Rodgers, haven't gotten back to the Super Bowl. Legion of Boom, Dynasty, one title. LeBron in Miami, 2 titles. And really, Ray Allen saved them on one unbelievable jumper from being 1 title. That was very perilously close to being 1 title in 4 years. I think Golden State's dynasty. Steph, by the way, had another ankle injury. We looked it up this morning. He's had 17 ankle injuries in his career. I think Golden State, if they stay healthy, wins the title this year. But we're already seeing mental fatigue, and I think Golden State's got 2 issues, Steph's health, and if Houston did upset them, there would be major dysfunction engulfing this team because they're so dynastic and they're such a remarkably gifted team. I mean, Golden State's really unique. The players are all smart. They have the great coach. They have the great system. They have the great talent, and they have the great intellect. Like, generally, even great teams, generally the coach is really good, but you may be a little star deprived, or you don't have this. They've got it all going. They've got brilliant leadership. Brilliant players are veterans. They're smart. They're savvy. They've got multiple stars, and they also have this offensive system that's revolutionizing kind of basketball. So they are really rolling. But it is, they've got a couple, and, never forget this. It's very possible that I would say probable, that if Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving did not get hurt 3 years ago in the finals, LeBron would have beaten that Golden State team. He and Matthew Dellavedova alone took them 6. So we could be looking at 1 championship, and these guys already dealing with a Steph injury and some mental fatigue. So, you see it with the Seahawks today and Richard Sherman. They just don't last very long. I mean, there's just we build these things up. We're all afraid of dynasties, right? Because it feels like they're pulling away from us. But, I mean, the Dodgers have all this payroll. They're still waiting for the World Series. The Cubs got their World Series, Game 7. Cleveland still doesn't have it. The Yankees are now loading up to get it. I mean, you got to make hay when you have the opportunities. USC's Urban Meyer at Florida, Mac Brown at Texas, Pete Carroll at USC. You think they're going to last forever? They do not. Hour 2 coming up. Mark Few, Gonzaga coach, too. It's The Herd.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.